Okay, thank you, Amma. So, do people have joined, or do I wait for a second, or how is it?
They're in. We have about 29 attendees.
Okay, I think we can start there.
Yeah.
Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Jayavarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopasantaye Prajnanam Brahmayamatma Brahmadatvamasi Brahmasmi Hamsa Shivassoham Hamsa Sakafrem Hasakshamalavar Yumsam Sakshamalavar Yimsah Swarupanirupan Hetave Swagurave Srimadjnanam Vigasameta Sri Chaitanyanandanatha Sri Guru Sri Padukam Pujayami Tatpayami Namaha. Namaskaram, everybody. Thank you for giving me a patient audience. May my Guru and Guru Parampara reside within me and speak through me to deliver what all that has to be delivered today through this class. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Bhavanopanishad, it is an Upanishad in itself. And the way I decipher this from the document, it appears Bhaskara Raya has either composed this or composed the later part or the the corollary for Bhavanopanishad, which is called the Mahayagakram. Initially, Mahayagakram was not in our was not planned as a part of our discussion, but when I accidentally stumbled upon it, I realized that it is a compelling part to be at least discussed in brief. And whoever is further interested, they can just practice that too. And it's a very interesting way they have mapped. The way it happens is they map the Bhavanopanishad to the Sri Chakram and to the body, and not just the Sri Chakram, whatever that resides around the Upasaka, outside of his locus called body. Outside of that locus, whatever that is residing is also mapped to it as well. So that's why Mahayagakramam, I think it's at least it's a very good topic for each one of us to delve and understand. To practice Mahayagakram in itself, that becomes a kind of it's one type of antaryagam. That means it's a yagam within. Okay, that is a sadhana in itself. Is a sadhana in itself. With that said, when I was searching for more information about Bhavanopanishad, I found that there are several versions of it online. The one that I am following is compiled and presented by Bhaskara Prakash Ashram, and that team is very well. I wouldn't say connected. We know each other very well. In the sense, Sri Vidya Temple Society knows that ashram quite well. That is headed by Yajnaratnam uncle and Raghu and Akhila and their team. So we are going to use that version that is published there because that is 99% synonymous with what is published in Sri Chakra Puja Vidhi, compiled by our Guru, Sri Chaitanyananda Saraswati. Come here. 1 second. I need this. There could be some more chairs in the other room. You can go that way. If there is one, you can please get this. So, getting directly into this Bhavanopanishad, it starts off with the Shanti Patham. Normally, any of these Upanishads or any of the Veda Pathams, they start off with the Shanti Patham. Okay, say for example, Purusha Suktam Tachanyo Ravrunimahe Gatun Yajnaya Gatun Yajnapadaye. That's how the Shanti Patham goes for Purusha Suktam. Atharva Shirsham Om Bhadram Kadne Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemaksha Bharayatraha Sthirairangai Tushtuvagam Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitan Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Stakshyo Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspate Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The reason I chanted this sloka entirely is, incidentally, the same sloka, is same Shanti Patham is used for Bhavanopanishad as well. Okay? And it starts off with Atmanamakhanda Mandalakarama Vrutya Sakala Brahmanda Mandalam Swaprakasham Dhyayet. So may I imagine the Akhanda Mandalakaram Avrutya Sakala Brahmanda Mandalam that is residing within me, the Atmanam Dhyayet. May I meditate upon the entire Brahmanda Mandalam that is residing within me. If you here, I'd like to bring a annotation from Sadguru. He says, Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev, he says, I have not read any of your Vedas, Upanishads, I just don't know anything about it. But what I do know is what is inside me. And what is inside me, I realize that it is same as what is outside of me. So once I know what is inside of me, I can talk about anything outside of me. So that entire philosophy is put in this one word, one statement, Atmanam Akhanda Mandalakaram Avrutya Sakala Mandala, Sakala Brahmanda Mandalam Swaprakasham Dhyayet. That Mandalam, Brahmanda Mandalam, that is Akhanda Mandalam. Okay, so that means the infinite universe or infinite multiverse residing within me as my own effulgence. May I meditate upon it. That's how it starts. And then it starts off with Shri Guru Sarvakarana Bhuta Shakti. That is the first statement in Bhavanopanishad. And going by the version that we are dealing with, it has 37 statements. Just a statement, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Something like your Namaste Ganapadaye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi. Another statement. Tvameva Kevalam Dhattasi. Each one of it is a statement in Ganapati Atharva Upanishad. In the same way, in Bhavanopanishad, basically it's a statement. Sri Guru Sarvakarana Bhuta Shakti. One statement. Tena Navarandharupo Deha. This body is basically my favorite word for that is a locus. Okay? It is a locus with 9 orifices, 9 openings. This locus communicates with the rest of the universe through these 9 pores. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 excretory passage, and the other one is a urinogenital passage. Okay, these are the 9. 2, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, Tena Varandharupo Dehaha. Now, what gets interesting is, we say this much, and when you go into Mahayagakram, I'll go, basically what I'll be doing through this class is, very, very intermittently, very often, I'll be switching from Bhavanopanishad to Mahayagakram and back and forth. That way, it will make a little more sense for you guys to understand why these two things are interlinked. But I promise that I will not go in detail into Mahayagakram because that becomes way too extensive to accommodate within an hour and a half session. If you really think at that point, if you think that we need to have one more session for that, which I don't believe you should, because it's all documented in a very, very crystal clear fashion in the publication by Bhaskara Ashram. Okay, you can just go through that, you will get to know about it. So here, when we say Atmanam Akhanda Mandalakaram Avritya Sakala Brahmanda Mandalam Dhyayet Swaprakasham Dhyayet Sri Guru Sarvakarana Bhuta Shakti Tena Navarandha Rupo Deha Navachakra Rupam Sri Chakram Varahi Pitru Rupa Kurukula Balidevata Mata Purushartha Sagara. The individual statements where he says in Mahayaga Kramam, initially they will think of the Guru and then they will perform Nyasatrayam. Okay, they will perform the Nyasam 3 times before the actual Mahayaga Kramam starts. In that one, Navachakra Rupam Sri Chakram Navachakra Rupa Sri Chakratmane Dehaya Namaha Pitrurupa Asti Avayavatmane Varahye Namaha Matrurupa Mamsat Avayava Atmane Balidevataye Kurukulla Devye Namaha. So here directly there is a mapping. Varahi Pitrurupa, Varahi is mapped to Asti, the bones of different avayavam, that is different limbs of the body. Okay, all the bone matter, that is the bone, anything that is bony in the body is referred to as Varahi. Anything meaty in the body is referred to as Kurukula, that is motherly part. The bone is the fatherly part and the mamsam, the meat, is the motherly part. But there is one other connotation that I had heard online where they will say Mooladharam is the fatherly part, Varahi, and the Swadhishtanam is considered to be the motherly part, that is Kurukula. That reference is also there, but we are following this one. Okay, otherwise, Shabdajalam, Maharanyam, Chitta Brahmana Karanam. Okay, so we just follow this. Then, Purushartha Sagaraha, Kurukulla Balidevata Mata, Purushartha Sagaraha. Now, what are the Purusharthas? But that's why here, quite a lot of these things, they are extraneous to the so-called, the locus called body. Okay, Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. 4 Purusharthas. These 4 Purusharthas are mapped to 4 oceans. That's why in Vaidika Vidhi, when we do the Pravaru, as they say, when we do Namaskaram to venerated people, Chatussagar Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shvambhavatu. Initially, when I was a kid, when I was initially initiated into this Gayatri, Upasana, Sandhyavanam and all that, this Chatussagar Paryantam, 4 oceans, come on, I know 5, I know 6, why only 4? At that time, my father did not answer it. Okay. Then basically what happens is that 4 sagaras are Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the 4 oceans. The 4 Purusharthas are mapped to 4 sagaras. But then again, is there a physical aspect like an ocean? Why is it called an ocean? There are 4 oceans. The oceans are See here, the way they have mapped. Deha paschad bhaga rupa dharmatmane dharmatmane ikshusagara yadamaha. Deha dakshina bhaga rupa arthatmane surasagara yadamaha. Deha pragrupa kamatmane घृतसागरा नमः. देह उदग्भाग रूप मोक्षात्मने क्षीरसागराय नमः. So there are 4 oceans. What are they? Ikshusagaram, Surasagaram, Ghrütasagaram, Kshirasagaram. Ikshu, that is sugarcane juice. Ikshusagaram. Sura can be interpreted in 2 ways. One is enne podradhu. Other one is right? That is alcohol. It can also be interpreted as honey. Madhu, it can be either is Sura, it can be interpreted as a Madhu, or it can be the other one too. It depends on what kind of puja you perform, what kind of upasana you perform. Okay? Surasagara Yadamaha. Ghrita means ghee, ocean of ghee. And then ocean of milk. Still, when you go deeper, these 4 have got further deeper connotations. Let us put that outside of the syllabus. Otherwise, we'll just, short story becomes the main story. Main story becomes short story. That's not what we want to do. Okay? So, these are the 4 sagaras. Purushartha sagara. Then, after that, here we say, Eritir Vyapakam Krutva. Nyasam we will be performing with this one. So I have basically the same Bhavanopanishad. I have taken the print as well. Because in the print, I am looking at the, which is Mahayaga Kramam. And in the soft copy, I am looking at the Bhavanopanishad itself. So that's why I said I'll be switching between these 2, flipping pages every time like that. It's going to be difficult. So here, Tvagadi Saptadhatu Roma Samyuktaha. Tvagadi Saptadhatus. Okay, what are the 7 aspects or 7 dhatus, 7 components in the body that which starts with Tvak. Tvak means skin. Okay, but it is not mapped in the same order when it comes to Mahayaga Kram. Okay, Mamsatmane, Tvagaya Saptadhatu Roma Samyuktaha. Okay, Deho Navaratna Dvipaha. So that Navaratna Dvipam is mapped to the Saptadhasus and 2. That is Pushpara Mamsatmane Pushparagaratna Dvipaya Namaha. Romatmane Niratna Dvipaya Namaha. Tvagatmane Vaidhurya Ratna Dvipaya Namaha. Rudhiratmane. Okay, by the way, I'm going too fast. But Mamsa means the meat. Okay, the muscle. Okay, Roma, the hair. Next, Tvak, skin. Tvagatmane Vaidhurya Ratna Dvipaya Namaha. Rudhiratmane, Rudhira is blood. So blood in the body is referred to the Vidrumaratna Dvipaya Namaha, and instantly blood and Vidrumaratnam, they are both red in colors. Okay, Vidrumaratna Dvipaya Namaha. Shukratmane, the reproductive fluids. Shukratmane Mauktika Dvipaya Namaha, that is pearls. And Majjatmane, bone marrow. Okay, Marakataratna Dvipaya Namaha. Astyatmane Vajraratna Dvipaya Namaha. Medatmane Gomedagaratna Dvipaya Namaha. Ojatmane Padmaragaratna Dvipaya Namaha. So these are the 9 Ratnas mapped to the 9 components of the human body. That's why at one point we will say, Jnanamarghyam, I'm jumping ship a little too fast, but I'll come back. Jnanamarghyam, Jneyam Havihi, Gnata Hotra, okay, Gnatrugnana Jneyanam Abheda Bhavanam, Sri Chakra Pujanam. So when you get there, you will understand that So what is known is Gnanam. What is being known or what is to be known is Gneyam. The person who is knowing, the knower, is the Gnata. And the realization that these three are just one. They are not in unison, they are just one. There is no second. And the realization of that oneness is Sri Chakra Puja. That's why Sri Chakra Puja is considered to be so esoteric and so subtle. So very subtle. No, the deeper you go, the deeper you go. So that's why, I always, it's a popular reference I always give, talcum powder. Talc. Okay? Talc, it is considered to be 99.999% pure material. It comes in the form of chunks. You grind it. You just, not mash it, you crush it. You crush it, make it into smaller chunks, smaller granules, smaller grains. Now, this way you can attain it to a purity of 95, 96, 97, so on. Then from there on, when you use a grinding stone or a hammering stone, at a hammer, even the small micronic layers of this grinding material or hammering material, it will get into the powder and the powder purity is lost. So how do you produce a 99.999% pure talc? How do you do it? What they do, they will take this somewhat coarse granules of talc in one chamber and then in same kind of material in the other chamber, pressurize it and then leave both these streams to strike against each other in a common chamber out of by pure pneumatic force. So what happens is talc granules hit against talc granules to produce talc granules which are finer in nature, so that there is no impurity. Same way, Sri Chakra Puja is about mother doing puja to mother, and the puja itself is called mother. When we realize that these three are one and the same, we have accomplished Sri Chakra Puja. And putting it in the other words, as our Parameshti Guru, Swaprakashanandanatha, he says, when you just Vayustambhana, when you just withhold your breath, you allow the Kundalini to go up. As the Kundalini Chaitanyam goes up, that Chaitanyam is going to perform the Sri Chakra Puja, during which time, for that moment, the body loses its awareness. And that experience is called the Paripurna Visheshargyam. Okay? It is that stage, that is a stage where Jnana, Gnatru, Gneyam, Abhedam, all these three are just one, there is no second. That realization happens, and that is Sri Chakra Puja. That's why when we call him Guru Garu, when he does the puja, he cleans, and I've seen there is a video there in YouTube, where cleans and cleans and cleans, and then finally he was this thing. Puja అయిపోయిందండి. When Ayya did the Sri Chakra Puja comprehensively using his book, entire book, he said he took 23.5 hours to complete it. When we do the Sri Chakra Puja in our own half-baked way, every so often in the temple, it takes 2.5 hours. But this guy does it in 30 seconds. Why? Ganapati Satchidananda Swami, he has one way of doing the Sri Chakra Puja. He builds a pyramid with manjal, okay, a pyramid of this height. He just gets into meditation, writes some Sri Chakra, some symbols. They kept very secret. He said, "You don't." I asked him last time when I went there. He said, "You don't need it. Stick to your method." Did this. In about 2 minutes, the puja. Same thing. Gnatrugnena gnanagneyanam abheda bhavanam. They have achieved it. If you achieve it, you don't need to do anything further. In fact, once, when Ayya was performing Varahi Home, sorry for digressing, but this is important in the sense it is very relevant. Okay, he was doing, normally we offer pounds and pounds of dry red chilies for Pratyangara Homa. He just offered once, second, or within just a few minutes, she's happy. We don't need to do anymore. Let us stop. There. Okay? So that is about the Abheda Bhavanam. We will get there. Before that, we have got this so-called Saptadhatu. We have mapped it to this one, which is that Navaratnas. Navaratnas, Saptadhatu, Navadhatu, so to say. All the 9 components of the body, we map it to the 9 jewels. Because Manidvipam, it's basically, there is also Dvipam of so many jewels. And each jewel is supposed to bestow one particular kind of phalam for you. That's why even the greatest demigods or gods, when they try to enter her, she's Maya. When they enter, they'll fall for one thing or other and they'll stop there. They won't go further. That happens. She does that. When you just overcome all the temptation, go further, then you will realize that ultimate truth, that ultimate effulgence, that ultimate oneness. Okay? Now, Navachakra Rupam, Navaratna Dvipo, Navaratna, what is that? Tenarandha Rupo Deha, Navachakra Rupam, Sri Chakram, Varahi Pitru Rupa, Kurukulla Bali Devata Mata. Now, what are the chakras? Navachakra Rupam, Sri Chakram, what are the chakras? Initially, I too was thinking the 9 avarnas or 9 chakras. No, that's not the way it is described. What say? Kala Chakreshwarye Namaha. Mamsadi Devatayi, Kalachakreshwarye Namaha, Mudra Chakreshwarye Namaha. The other, this one they have mentioned here, but I'm not reading that. When you go through this, yourself in the Mahayagakram, you will see what it is mapped to. But I'm just going to mention what, when you say Navachakrams in Bhavanopanishad, what exactly are those 9 chakras. I'll leave it at that. Kala Chakreshwarye Namaha, Mudra Chakreshwarye Namaha, Matru Chakreshwarye Namaha, Ratna Chakreshwarye Namaha, Desha Chakreshwarye Namaha, Guru Chakreshwarye Namaha, Tattva Chakreshwarye Namaha, Graha Chakreshwarye Namaha, Murti Chakreshwarye Namaha. 9 chakras. Navachakra Rupam Sri Chakram. So when all these chakras are, once again, what is chakram? Chakram is a wall, something that is circular, has no openings. It has openings. It just starts from a particular place and come back to the same place where it started. A wall, a chakram, that's called a chakram. Okay, this is how the vortices, your Brahmanam, or your Vishwabhramana Karani, the Brahman, the concept of Brahmanam comes from that. Okay, so then after that, what we say, please. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah. It's a circle too. It's a circle too. Nothing wrong. Perfectly correct. But the moment I say circle, yeah, it is a square, what do you say about it? No. They're all valid questions that come in. That's why I say it is a pattern where you start in one place, you come back to the same place. That makes it a circle. I mean, that's why I say he just came back full circle. That means full this one. So even every avarnam, in some avarnam, there are discontinuities, but still it forms one chakra because it just comes back to the point where it started. The shape can be anything. The circular shape, what is that? Square shape, circular shape, or discontinuous apices of rectangle, triangles. So all these things, they are different types of circular patterns, so to say. Okay, because actually as you go up, it is not a circle anymore. It is a parabola. No, not parabola. is an ellipse. Okay, the ellipse, and if you draw a straight line, it becomes a rhombus. A rhombus, if you round it off, it's actually an ellipse. That's the reason the universe is referred to as Brahmanam, not Brahmagolam. Brahmanam, because it is ellipsoidal in nature, in shape, not circular. Okay, that is basically because the universe is essentially a machination, a manipulation or interaction between two entities called you and I. All the gazillions and gazillions of interactions between you and I put together is universe. So what is a closed geometrical pattern with two foci called is an ellipse. That is how universe is scientifically proven to be elliptical in nature. Okay? But there is some more explanation to it, but we'll be digressing too much in that direction if you go there. Okay, now Tvagadi Saptadhaturom Samyuktaha Sankalpa Kalpataravaha Tejaha Kalpakodhyanam. We have a popular saying here. What is that? Yad bhavam tad bhavati. Okay, sankalpam kalpavruksham. Right? So your kalpataru is nothing but your own wish that has been wished for very profoundly. How many of you have seen the movie Telugu? I think quite a few people speak Telugu here, I believe, right? Fida. Watch the movie Fida? What's the last sentence they say? Saa gattiga anukunnam ayipoyindi ante. Right? You thought, you wished for it very firmly and it manifested. So, kalpataru, kalpaha, what is that? Sankalpaha, kalpataravaha, kalpakodhyanam. So that's how the kalpavruksham and the udyanam of kalpavruksham is formed. It's basically your own thoughts. So your own thoughts are the kalpatarus. Okay? Then rasanaya bhavyamana madhura amla tikta katu kashaya lavana rasaha shadrutavaha. The 6 seasons are the 6 flavors. Shadrasopetamena bhojanamanta. What do you call? What is shadrasopetam? When we eat our food, the food is supposed to have, it will fall within 6 flavors. Okay, sweet, sour, then salty is the last. Sweet, sour, spicy, bitter is last but one, astringent, bitter, and then salty. Okay? So these are 6 flavors that any tastable food falls under. And these 6 flavors are mapped out, that means the 6 experiences of this food. Because basically what is happening, say for example, I like sweet. She likes pavakai. Sometime back, I think she or somebody, they served me pavakai. No pavakai, I don't want pavakai. But they like it. How come I like something, they like something else? Because the human body interprets the external universe through a layer called upadhis. Upadhi is our senses, sense of sight. For somebody, I like the smell of rose. Somebody says, no, I like the smell of jasmine. Okay? So, your interpretation, your understanding of the universe is essentially an interpretation given by these senses. So, if all these senses are totally blocked, what do you have? You just have no knowledge of the universe, or you are totally immune to the variegations of the universe. You accept everything same. That's why I asked Ayya once, what is your experience, okay, of a state where there is no ego, there are no upadhis, there are no senses? Then he said, that state is mother. If you ever get to experience that state, try to stay in that state for as long as possible. Okay? So that Shad Rutavaha, that 6 Rutus, the 6 seasons are mapped to these 6 different flavors of food. And then, if you get into the Mahayaga Kramam, Madhurasatmane Vasantarutu is sweet. Grishma, Amla, Varsha, Tikta, Sharadrutu, Katu, Hemanta, Kashaya, Shishira, Lavana. 6. Huh? That I have no answer for that, but what I believe is that is the experience one realized. When you go into this is the thing is, when you go into this Bhavanopanishad, there comes a stage where your logic makes less and less sense. Your experience will prevail over logic. Experience will prevail over logic. In fact, if I read another version, as I said, Kurukula, Baladev, they start mapping the Mooladharam and Swadhishanam to Varahi and Kurukula, while we tend to map Varahi to the Ajna Chakra. That's an experience. This is an experience too. At the around the 8th Avarnam, here in Bhavanopanishad, we map the entire Titinitya Kalas. Whereas when we do the Sri Yantra Puja, initially we consider Titinitya Kalas as outside of the body, outside of the Sri Yantram. Even before we enter the Sri Yantram, we take the permission of Nitya Kala Devis, and then only we'll get inside. So this is one perspective, that is another perspective. Okay? Then.
Different flavors, 6 different seasons, then 6 different senses.
No, 6 different flavors. So the flavor is taste, only one sense. That one sense has got 6 different shades. One sense, the sense of taste. There are 6 tastes. Pardon? Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Because that's the reason I like so much of sweet, I end up in diabetes today. Right? So that's how your karma gets linked to it. That's how your body action, your interaction with the universe changes when your upadhis interpret the universe in a particular way and you start interacting or you start reacting to it accordingly. That's why they say, Brahmagnani Karna Kathoramayana Kathora Shabdam and Paramashravya Sangeetam both will appear same to him. Because that upadhi it is not benumbed, it is not dead. It is just that he has overcome, he has possessed control over that upadhi. Okay? Next, then after that, we will get here is where we get Jnana Murgyam Gneyam Havihi Gnata Hotta Gnatrugnana Gneyanam Abheda Bhavanam Sri Chakra Pujanam. Since I already discussed it at length in the beginning, I want to skip this because we are already got a little carried away into this. This one is already what? Oh boy, 5:43. Huh? Already 45 minutes over. We only have 1.5 hours. Okay. So then after that, Niti Shrungara Dayoho Animasiddhayaha. Now, I am sure all of you are aware of a Sri Yantram and the Sri Yantram architecture. The Sri Yantram architecture from bottom to top contains 9 layers. The first layer is called the Bhupuram. Okay, for those of you who are not entirely familiar with the Bhupuram, that Bhupuram will have 3 concentric squares or 3 concentric patterns of straight lines. Okay, that's why if the first one is called Prathama Rekha, Madhyama Rekha, Antya Rekha. Okay, or if you want to, for those who don't speak Telugu, forgive me for this 20-second distraction. పిట్టగోడలను మూటిని కట్టి సిద్ధి మాతృకా ముద్రలను బళకరముంచి ముల్లోకాలను మోహముగప్పెడు పాదములను కొలువగనెంచితి ప్రకట యోగినుల లోగిలిలో నీ తేజములరగ త్రైలోక్య మోహన చక్రస్వా. That's how it is. సిద్ధి మాతృకా ముద్రాస్. 18 మూకల కూడి 3 రేఖలుగా బారులు తీరి 6 పై చిలుకు ప్రదక్షిణముల మూలలు ద్వారములన్నిట చేరి తెలుపు ఎరుపు మరి బంగారు వన్నెల నీను యోగినులు కొలువు చేసడి నీదు పాదముల అరుణిమ ఛాయల ప్రథమావరణం మై వెలుంగగా. That's how it is. Okay, తెలుపు, white, red and gold hues, they emanate. There are 10, 8, 10 Siddhi, Matrika, Mudra, Shaktis. What is that? Siddhi. Normally we say Ashta Siddhi. Here, Siddhi Dashakamai Talupulu Teruva, there are 10 Siddhis. Okay? Akaradula Rupamudalchina Ashtamatruka Katachinshaga, 8 Matrukas. Then Dasha Mudras. So this is how the first avaranam is formed. That's what they talk about. Pardon? I wrote this song. It's about first avaranam. Okay? So, Niji Shrungaradayoho Animadisiddhayaha Niyati Shrungaradayoho, 9 rasas. That is 9 different expressions of feelings. Okay? I'm in general affectionate. That is not expression. That is your state. But you express it in so many ways. Okay? And these 9, they are described like this. Here, that Jnanatmane Vishesharghya Namaha, Jnayatmane Havishe Namaha, Jnatratmane Hotre Namaha. So all those things will come in. Then after that, when you hear in Bhavanopanishad, this Mahayaga Kramam, at that moment, as Guru Garu said, for that moment, to experience the oneness of these 3, may I rest for a moment. So, Bhavanena Kshanam Vishramya. At that moment, you will wait for a moment. Because you have lost sense of duality completely. And then after that, once again, you will start fighting through. That is, Soho Tripura Chakreshwari Namaha. Aim Klim Soho Tripura Chakreshwari Namaha. He does the entire Nava Avaranas. It is usually this is called Antaryagam in Sri Chakra Puja Vithi book. Then after that, when it comes to Siddhis, that Shamsa, Prishtarupa, Shantarasatmane Animasiddhyai Namaha, Adbhutarasatmane Laghimasiddhyai Namaha, Karunarasatmane Mahimasiddhyai Namaha, Veerarasatmane Ishasvasiddhyai Namaha, Hasyarasatmane Vasisvasiddhyai Namaha, Bhivatsarasatmane Prakamyasiddhyai Namaha, Raudrasatmane Bhuktisiddhyai Namaha, Bhayanakarasatmane Ichhasiddhyai Namaha, Shrungarasatmane Praptisiddhyai Namaha. These are the Navarasas we know. Which are they? Shanta, Adbhuta, Karuna, Veera, Hasya, Bhivatsa, Raudra, Bhayanaka, Shrungara. The 9 rasas. Then Niyatatmane, Niyatyatmane, Niyati. What is Niyati? Niyati means that is defined. It has a There's a control. It is within a period of time. Not your 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's not it. In the window, we are all, basically, we are all bound by time. Within that time, because we are bound by the time called past, present, and future. Okay, so within that window, you can control it, because if you express bhibatsam with absolutely no control over past, present, and future, you will destroy the universe. Right? So niyati, that definitiveness of the end, a beginning and an end, and the beginning, and so on. Niyati. Okay, this forms the 10th. This one, Mudra, 10th siddhi, that is Sarvakama siddhi. See, the Sarvakama siddhi, which prevails over all the other 9, that is mapped to niyati. Niyati shrungara dayoha anima adayaha. Okay, then after that, yeah, Sri Chakra. Sri Chakra is being connected. Sri Chakra Devatas. So Sri Chakra Devatas, body, and the bhavana, all these things are being intertwined into, is a kind of a reticulate relation. Reticulate relationship. Yes, yeah. Yes, these things are connected to these particular rasas. Rasas once again comes from within the body. So if you can, when you feel very angry, well, this particular, it belongs to actually that devata. It is not me. This belongs to the devata. It is not me. Ultimately, what am I? Aham nasmi, aham brahmasmi. That's the idea. Okay. Now. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. 6 and Papa, Punya. These 8 are the Ashta Matrakas. Okay. That is Kamatmane Brahmye Namaha, Krodhatmane Maheshwarye Namaha, Lobhatmane Kaumarye Namaha, Mohatmane Vaishnavye Namaha, Madatmane Varahye Namaha, Matsaryatmane Mahendriye Namaha. Matsarya means jealousy. Indra is supposed to be very jealous demigod. That's why he keeps disturbing everybody's stuff, because he is worried that he comes and occupies as this one, right? Matsaryam, Mahendriye Namaha, Punyatmane Chamundaye Namaha, Papatmane Mahalakshmi Namaha. Because Ashtamatrakas are mapped to the Arishad Vargas plus Papa and Punya. Ashtamatrakas. 8. Okay. Then after that, so this is the this one. Now, after the next comes the mudras. Okay. And when it comes to mudras, Dram, Mooladharatmane, Dream, Swadhishtanatmane, Bloom, Manipuratmane, Saha, Anahatatmane, Krom, Vishuddhyatmane, Hasakafrem, Indra, Yonyatmane, Hasauhu, Ajñatmane, Aim, Urdhvasahasrakamandalatmane, Hasraim, Haskalarim, Hasrazuhu, Adharanavagatmane. All the mudras are mapped to the roots of each of these avaranams. Okay? Dram, Dream, Kleem, Bloom, Sahakrom. So all those things from Prakata, Paraparati Rahasya. So 9 layers is being mapped. Okay? Trailokya Mohana Chakreshwari Namaha. Which one? No, 7 chakras, but we have got 2 besides the 7. If you could say, for example, the feet, the thighs. Then only after the Mooladharam starts. Right? Mother's feet. Am Sauh Pada Pujayami. Aim Kleem Sauh Uru Pujayami. Hrim Kleem Sauh Prashtham Pujayami. So when it comes to Prishtam, Mooladharam, అక్కడి నుంచి మూలాధారం నుంచి 7 చక్రాలు బయట పైకి వస్తాయి. That's how it is. And there is in a different version of Bhavanopanishad, they mapped it slightly differently. This one, they wouldn't even consider feet and all that. They will start with Mooladharam. Mooladharam is Sauh. That's how they map. But then that is a little confusing. I don't want to go that route. But they are used to a system. One is an FPS system, another is an MKS system. Let us not just mix these two things up. Okay? Right. Then after that, by the way, online, any questions up till this point? Let us spend about 5 minutes on questions and then continue our journey for another 30 minutes. No questions?
నమస్కారం సార్.
నమస్కారం.
వినండి బాస్టన్ నుంచి. మనం భావనోపనిషత్తులు 37 అని చెప్పారు. అక్కడి నుంచి మనం ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసాము, 2వ పేజీలోకి వచ్చాము. 2వ పేజీ అంటే మహాయాగ క్రమంకి వచ్చాము. కనెక్షన్ నాకు అర్థం కాలేదండి.
Okay. What I suggest is, okay, the question she is asking is, you said there are 37 statements in this one in Bhavanopanishad. How exactly are we relating each of those statements with whatever you are talking about in Mahayaga Kram? Okay, so if you will have to dig a little bit or scratch a little bit through the document that is given, Amma. There they have numbered each statement. Under that number, when it comes to Mahayaga Kramam, under that number they describe the entire sequence. So you will be able to pick it up there. Because otherwise, I can do that for you, but that we will be just digressing too much doing that. It is there, number 1. So this is number 1. What exactly is number 1? He describes that. I know it's not a very fair answer, but you have to make do with that answer for now.
చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
అక్కడ ఉన్నాయి నంబర్స్ ఇచ్చారన్నమాట వాళ్ళు. నంబర్స్ రెఫర్ చేసుకుంటే you will be it's very easy. That's how I came to know of it as well. So you should be able to easily refer to these things. But what I am doing is, when I read a statement out of Bhavanopanishad, for the elaboration of that statement in the Mahayaga Kram, I am just speaking it out. I am not speaking about the numbers.
Okay.
That's the reason, most likely that's the reason. In fact, quite a few could have gotten confused with those layers because I am not mentioning numbers. Okay?
Thanks, Andy.
Welcome.
Yeah, a couple of people asked about the song you just sang, the Telugu song. They were asking, where is it from?
I'm letting the cat out of the bag. I wrote it.
Awesome.
Sure. It is mother's, this one. Okay, take it if you want. I'll send it. I'll just post it in this one. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Ayya. And someone asked, can you please repeat what came before Mooladhara? How were the feet represented?
Pardon? Yeah, Sauhu Padav Pujayami, mother's feet, that is the Trilokya Mohana Chakram. Then Aim Klim Sauhu Uru Pujayami, there is the thighs of mother, there is the second avaranam. Okay. Hrim Klim Sauhu Prishtam Pujayami, or Mooladharam Pujayami, Adharam Pujayami, that is the third avaranam, which is Mooladharam. So before Mooladharam, there are 2 avaranas. Okay? Because there are so many ways you can connote these things. Another connotation, you have got 5 different 5 elemental states of physical existence: solid, liquid, fire, gas. Fire means plasma. For solid, liquid, plasma, gas, ether. Those are 5, right? That is from the densest to the rarest. That's why plasma, though the modern science calls it 4th state of matter, according to our ancient science, is the 3rd state of matter. because only after that material in that density levels, it transcends into material of a slightly less dense vessel, that is gaseous state. Okay, so these 5 states, and then below these 5 there are 2, causative and expression, above mind and paratattva, 9. That's another way of looking at this one. So there are so many ways these things can be sliced and diced. One way they say is, that is expression, that is Trailokya Mohana Chakram, which is the causes and expressions, and then even the second avaranam, this is the pranam, that is the life, the energy that takes in, and then from there you digitize your physical states from solid to ether. After you digitize, from there you just, the next thing that is there is mind, because only with the mind all these things are formed, and beyond mind is some state that is there, that is beyond mind, that is Paratma. That's 9 hours. That's what's a Prakata, Gupta, Guptatara, Sampradaya, Kulotyena, Nigarbha, Rahasya, Achirahasya, Paraparachirahasya. So from the most gross and most explicit state of awareness to the most subtle and most implicit state of awareness, 9 layers. Okay? Now,
there's one more question here. For a beginner, how would one best follow this? Any recommendations?
Pardon me, would you repeat the question, ma'am?
How would one best follow this? Any recommendations? I think they're talking about like how.
No, not just for beginners, even for every one of us, including me. The problem is we get stuck with definitions. Okay? For putting it in Telugu, anirvachaniyamana anubhuti pondenduku nirvachanam adharam kaakudadu. You cannot take definition as a basis to experience something that cannot be defined. So what you have to do, stick to the sounds. If you are chanting Khadgamala, start hearing Khadgamala inside of yourself. When your buccal apparatus is uttering the sounds, uttering those Khadgamala, you just focus on that voice box making that sound. Slowly at one point, what exists there is the voice box and the sound it is making. After that voice box disappears, only the sound. After that, even the person listening disappears, only the sound remains. So you don't have to worry about, that's why I always say this. I'm sure we will not be able to complete our syllabus. We will have to come back again, but still, see here. There are 4 pens. Okay? I want you to arrange it in a square pattern with these 4 dots in a square pattern. I can take this thing. Can do that. Or just grab it, the square is there. Because the reason I say this is, it knows how to form a square on its own. You don't have to work hard on that. You just focus on each pen. The pen falls into its place on its own. You don't have to work about it. So be it a beginner or be it an advanced practitioner. Everybody's quest, you, me, Ayya, anybody, their quest is to get out, get detached, destroy the concept called definitions. If you are given a Mula Mantram, concentrate on the Mula Mantram, chant it left, right and center in every possible way, as many times as possible, as long as possible. And how that mantra reveals to you will be unique to yourself. It will not be same as the way it happens to anybody else. This is what I have learned after I came to this temple. I came from a Vedic family, but by the time my father took it, it was already diluted. Okay, because my father was a great Hanuman Upasaka. But then again, those are the times management by fear, hey, do it this way, otherwise you are going to be in trouble. That's how so that's why we used to think this is the way, everything is no way. This is the only highway. Everything else is no way. But after I came to this temple, I have seen people, in fact, when I say this, I get tears in my eyes. They do not know to utter something properly. They just have no clue what it is, but they are spiritual giants walking right among us as if they are idiots. So you don't have to know anything. You don't have to stick to any definitions. Just you what you mantra moolam guror vakyam moksha moolam guror kripa. That's it. Whatever your guru has given you, just stick to it like a burr. That's the advice I give to him, be it a beginner or anybody. Okay? Now, anything else? I'll just go to our regular Bhavanopanishad and Mahayaga Kramam. Okay. Adharanamaka Mudra Shakta, that is done Prithivyapas Tejo Vayura Kashat Chakshur Jikva Grana Vakpani Pada Payu Pasthani Manovikaraha Kama Krishinyadi Shodasha Shakta 16 petal lotus, the second avarana. Okay? Padunarakkara nityamulai guttu kalakala neevudu. Okay. Guttu kalakala neevudi matru rasamruta dharaladadipi sedanu deetsaga ninu veditini sarvasha paripuraka chakrini Nityamandita Kamalavasini. That is this. So those 16 petals, and those 16 petals are mapped to 16 vowels. The 16 are mapped to what is the Prithivyapas Tejo Vayura Kashat 5 Panchabhutas. Okay, that is 5 elemental states of physical existence which we talked about just now. Okay, okay, then Chakshuhu, Jikva, Agrana, Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Pasthani. There are 5 Gnanendriyas. Right? So 5 Gnanendriyas, 5 this one, and Kama, which is that? Shrotratvak. Okay. And Mano, sorry. 5 bhutas, 5 karmendriyas, from 5 granendriyas, and manovikaram. It is the manovikaram, call it the causative of this or the result, or this is the one that either it causes this or is a result of this. Manovikaram. Endukante when when all these upadhis impact you like arrows, there is a chalanam. That is vikaram. That vikaram need not be something negative, something bad or something. It is basically, it tends to make you think that I am not that. Tattvamasi, from that bhavana of Tattvamasi, you deviate. That is vikaram. So this together, 15 plus 1 is 16 Shodashadara. Okay? For the lack of the time, I will just skip that. You can look at it yourself. That is Prithvivyatmane, Abhatmane, that is Apatmane, then Tejatmane, Vayuatmane, Akashatmane, Shrotratmane, Tvagatmane, Chakshuratmane, Jihvatmane, Granatmane. All these things are all Akarshin. Shodacha Vidamulan Akarshinchadu Nitya Devata, something is there. That's how that song, that's for the second avarana. Okay? I will share that one too before anybody asks. Okay? Aim Klim Sauhunadatraya Vatika Janita Marutas Maruta Saurabhyamai Chaitanyambudi Chaitanyambudi Galagaladuchu Trunamai Nanua Drutilo Galipi Kevala Padamunu Chetsumantini. That's how it goes. Okay? I just so I wrote it for 3 avaranas. First avaranam, second avaranam, third avaranam, fourth, it is still going on for the last so many years. She has to serve this one. Okay, so this is 16 petals, 16 components in the human body. They are mapped. Then Hrim Klim Sauh Sarva Sanshobhana Chakraya Ashtala Padmaya Namaha. So for this one, Vachana Dana Gamana Visarga Nanda Hano Padana Upechakya Buddhaya Ananga Kusuma Jashtaha. That means Ananga Kusuma, Ananga Mekhala, Ananga Rekha, Ananga Vegini, Ananga Ankucha, Ananga Malini. It ends with Ananga Malini. That 8, this one, that 8 petals are mapped to Vachana, speaking, Adana, taking. Okay, then Gamana, walking, Visarga, that is, it is abnegation, for the lack of better word. Abnegation, Ananda, happiness. Okay, then Hana, Upadana. Hana, I don't remember what it is. Upadanam, once again, it is accepting. One is just taking, another one is just accepting. Okay, Upadana, Upeksha, that means to say total non-responsive detachment, dispassionate detachment. Okay, these 8, they form the 8 petals of the third avaranam. So basically what is happening is every experience that you endure in your day-to-day life, the experience may be because of something outside of you or inside of you. It may be the cause or it may be a result. That refers to one particular devata in Sri Chakram that is embedded in your own body. And that mapping, you should be actively able to do it. That's why you see in the case of Yatra Yogeshwara, Krishna is called the Yogeshwara. Okay? And how is that 16,000 Gopikas? Does he have time for anything else? Come on. So basically what is happening is the 16 petals in Vishuddhi, each petal is connected to the Sahasraram, 1,000 petals of Sahasranam. There are 16,000 channels through which the Amritam is flowing in him. And that guy was aware of that all the time. He was doing all crooked, funny things in his mundane life. That's why he becomes a Yogeshwara. So if you can just memorize, commit this Mahayaga Kram to your memory, okay, and always refer to these things, okay, as you conduct your life in a normal way. Hari Guna Manimaya Saramulugala Munasho Bhillu Bhakta Kotililalo Tilivito Chelimito Karunagalgi Jagamellanu Sudha Drushtiche. What happens is when it goes to Vishuddhi, okay, with that Anandam, the guy goes bonkers. But instead of going bonkers, okay, he has Telivito with full worldly conductance, so with the worldly disposition, okay, Telivito, Chelimito, friendly, because in confusion he can become very easily angry, like Durvasa. No. Tilivito, Chilimito, Karunagalgi, with compassion. Jagamellanu Sudha Drushtiche. That means that with Amrita Drishti, he should be able to look at the world. That is sadhana. And that kind of people, Endaro Mahanubhava. So, Tyagaraja did not write this. He did the poetry there. He wrote his experience. He wrote his experience, what happens when it comes to Vishuddhi, how it can be controlled, how a person should be disposed, in what kind of disposition should a person be with that kind of Anandam still running through him. That is your challenge, that is sadhana. And one of the tools for the sadhana is Mahayaga Bhavanopanishad. Okay? Next. So I'll just jump to the next avarana. Okay? That is Next avaranam, it's basically 14 konams, right? Chaturdasha konam. So Chaturdasha konam, it says in Bhavanopanishad, Alambusha, Kuhur, Vishvodara, Varuni, Hastijihva, Yashovati, Payasvini, Gandhari, Pusha, Shankini, Saraswati, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna cha iti, Chaturdashanadhyaha, Sarvasanshobhinyadi, Chaturdasha Shaktayaha. The 14 principal nadis in the human body. Our human body is supposed to contain 72,000 nadis. Okay, then these nadis are the same, not the same as what we say the optic nerve or some other nerve. Those nerves are very, very physical. These nadis are basically the reticulate connection of channels. Through each channel, one particular energy signature keeps flowing. And each energy is responsible for conducting, for the body conducting in a particular way. Out of these 72,000, there are 108 that are important. Out of that 108, there are 14 that are important. Out of that 14, there are 3 that are important. Ida, Pingala, and Sushma. So these 14 nadis would form the 14th avaranam. And once again, owing to lack of time, I will say Bhavana, the Mahayagakramam for this 4th avaranam, you look it up yourself. And in the sense it is there in the documentation, you go through a documentation yourself. Okay? That's why I said, if you really think that we need to have one more, and honestly, when I started off with Bhavanopanishad, training myself to give a class, I never thought it would, in fact, I was afraid I'll finish it in 30 minutes. And what am I going to do with 30 minutes? Now it's already past 1 hour. I'm not sure I'll be able to complete it. Okay, if you think we need one more class, we can have one more. No big deal. Okay, but this is how the 4th avaranam. Vagvadini Kamaraja Shiva Bijamulu Surya Varnamu Kudi Shobhillaga Attejamulata Kasandra Karuna Rasame Amrutam Sindhu Vai Prakahinsaga Asindhu Madhyamuna Tripura Vasini Chakra Shri Maharajne Rajallaga Amma Kantule Soka Padunalku Bhavanumule Chaturdasha Bhuvan Chaturdasha Konamai Bhasillaga Turiya Varanamai Vilasillega Kankara Dhankara Sadduladhyanta Muluga Niti Kulariti Patinsaga Iruvadi Enimide Padunalgu Doyilai Chaturdasha Konamula Bhasillega. That's how the 4th avaranam goes. Okay? So anyway, that song is not complete. So that's where this one stops. So that is the 14th, that is the 4th avaranam. Basically 4th avaranam, it refers to the 14 nadis and how the 14 nadis are connected to certain parts of your body. Okay? Klim Klim So Haim Haklim Haso. Okay. See here once again. Chaturdasha Chakraya Namaha. In the Chaturdasha Chakram, the way it is mapped in Ayya's book. Okay? Ka to Dha. 14 syllables, 14 aksharas. But here is a tan tan dan dhandam tan tan dan dhandam pam pam bam bam yim bloom. That's how they mapped it in this Mahayagakram. But in Ayya's book, say kang kang gang hangam chan chan jan janyam Tan, tan, dandham, 14. 5, 5, and 4. That's how Ayya has. That's why what happens is the way Ayya says, for those who are into Mahashodashi, okay, there are Mahashodashi, it is treated as a 16-syllable mantra and also as a 28-syllable mantra. Every avaranam that you take, except for the top, every avaranam you take, it is either a multiple of this 16 or 28, a number of petals, or a half of it. First avaranam 28 equals to 28. Second avaranam 16 equal to 16-syllable concept of Mahashodashi. Third avaranam 8, half of 16. Fourth avaranam 28, and fourth avaranam 14, half of 28. Fifth, sixth, and seventh, 10, 10, 8, all put together one iteration of Mahashodashi, 28. That's how it is. That's how it is architectured. Okay, so, and in the same way, the syllables or the Akshara Malika, that's how it's also distributed in the along these avaranas. In fact, my next class I want to take is, this is something that has always fascinated me. I went through that in some kind of depth. Okay, I want to take an exclusive, because this is the route for this class went about some time back. One of the upasakas asked, we talk so much about Aksharamala. Is there the presence of Aksharamala inside Sri Chakra? How do you cross-reference Aksharamala to Sri Chakra? It is there. And I asked Ayya, okay, is it acceptable to perform Sri Chakra Upasana using only Aksharamala? He said, yes, it is perfectly acceptable, and it is called Mahasaraswati Upasana. Okay? So when I take that class, probably that class may clash with some of the concepts mentioned in the Mahayagakramam. But that's the way it is. That's the nature of the beast. Anyway, so that 14 nadis will refer to the 14, will refer to the, what do you call, the 14 triangles in the fourth avaranam. Okay, then comes the fifth avaranam, that is Hasaim, Hasklim, Hasauh. Another thing, the base mantram is Aim, Klim, Sauh. You add Hakaram. Vagvadini Kamaraja Shivabijamulu Surya Varnamukudi Shobhillaga. What is Surya Varnam? Hakaram. Haim, Haklim, Hasauh. Fourth avaranam. You add Chandrabijam, Sakaram. Hasaim, Hasklim, Hasauh. Then you add Agnibijam, Hasraim, Hasraklim, Hasrasauh. That's how they evolve. So the entire Sri Yantra Upasana is nothing but is the transcendence or your journey from something Trilokyamohanam to this Aim Klim Sauh, laced with these three energies that finally ultimately take you through mind, blow you past that, and reach there the point of unity. That is Sri Chakra Upasana. Okay? Now, Pranapanam Vyanodana Samana Naga Kurma Kragara Devadatta Dhanjayavayavaha Sarvasiddhi Pradadi Bahirdashara Devata. So the fifth avaranam is 10-petal lotus, Bahirdasharam. Okay? So Bahirdasharam, it has 10 petal lotus. So what is the 10-petal lotus? It is Agni Tattvam. Right? Yes, it is Agni Tattvam. What is the Agni Tattvam? This one there. We have Pranapana Vyanodana Samana, 5 pranas. Okay? Prana, the Vayu that helps your life sustenance. Apana, excretory function. Vyana, digestive function. Udana, reproductive function. Samana, something that takes care of all these functions, distribute the energy judiciously, otherwise you will have a hand which is 1 inch long and a nose which is 2 miles long. So Each thing should be only to particular this one. So that the energy that manages is a samana vayu. And then besides this, there are 5 upavayus: Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta, Dhananjaya inside. So these 5 plus 5, 10 would form the 5th avaranam.
Just Kriya Yoga.
Okay? That 5th avaranam, Dhananjaya, Westerners know a lot about it. You know Dracula? So Dracula, how is the Dracula killed? He gets taken into her heart, right? He gets taken into her heart, and otherwise Dracula has no death. He just comes back, whatever you do. Here, the Dhananjaya Vayu, the Upavayu Dhananjaya resides here. That's the last Vayu that leaves the body. So if that doesn't leave, it becomes a Dracula. At least approximately, the zombie. That's how it is. So Dhananjaya. That's why even in our traditions, we are supposed to, at least some traditions in India and Sri Lanka, okay, they light the fire here. In fact, Ayya was mentioning about his uncle, his nephew or somebody his father died. He just consoled him, takes him there. He just looks at the camphor, it just lights the fire. It just puts it on the heart chakra. Come on, pull on, wow. So Dhananjaya Upavayu resides here. So these 5 plus 5 pradhana vayus and 5 upavayus put together forms the Bahirdasharam, the 5th avaranam that contains 10 triangles. Now Antardasharam, this is again 10. So 10, 10 and 8, right? 5, 6 and 7. The internal, that is Antardasharam. Basically, the Antardasharam is the one that deals with different types of food, and each energy is responsible for digesting that varied food. Because basically, we spoke about the 6 flavors, and there are 5 textures of food. I mean, we say, we'll make bhakshanam. We don't make bhakshanam. We make bhakshyams. It is not, bhakshanam means eating. Bhakshyam. Now, bhakshyam, we say, panchabhakshya paramanna, right? So, bhakshyam is in general what can be consumed. But out of that bhakshyam, there are 5 textures. One in itself is bhakshyam. That is something that you cut. That's why only human being has this facility. He has got 4 types of teeth, right? Incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. The incisors and canines, they cut and tear. When you eat a sugar cane, what do? You'll hold it to the canine and tear it. But when it comes to the wild animals, the canines are more developed. Incisors are somewhat developed, but molars and premolars are not so developed because they just cut, tear, and swallow. That's it. Cut, tear, and swallow. Okay? That is how so bhakshyam, something that you cut and eat, a piece of bread, a pita, or your taco, or your roti, puri, chapati, all these things are bhakshyams. Bhojyam, something that you chew or something that you grind. Your sadam, all kinds of sadams, right? Including prasadam. Okay, so eat. Okay, then bhakshya, bhojya, lehyam. That is something that you lick. Urgai. Lick, yeah, these are all textures. Urgai. Then shoshya, slurp. Zurrukonta antam Telugulo. Okay, so what you do, you pour something onto that leaf. Earlier they used to have a leaf, right? That's a plate. They put in payasam, all kinds of noises they will make. They just, so that is choshyam. And then payam. That is something that is we drink. That is your fruit juices. Okay, even rasam, you drink. So these are the 5 textures of foods. They are called pancha bhakshyas. Okay? That's why in Telugu, what is that? Sorry, I keep talking so much about it. I see a lot of Telugu people, Panchabhatshyala tana kanchana vaddincha gongura kosamai patakalese vadu. You must have heard this, right? Yeah. So anyway. So that Panchabhakshas, the way they are digested using the so-called fire energy. Okay, that is Dashavayavah Etadvayu Samsarga Upadi Bhedena Rechaka Pachaka Shoshako Dahaka Plavaka Iti Prana Mukhyatvena Panchaza Jatara Bhavati. From this one, these 5 types of Jataragni, the fire in the stomach forms. And then when it forms, what it does, Charaka, Udgaraka, Shobhako, Jrumbhako, Mohakaiti, Naga Pradhanyena Panchavidhaha, Te Manushyanam Dehegaha, Bhakshya, Bhojya, Chohya, Lehya, Peyatmaka, Panchavidhamannam Pachayanti. These 5, this way they digest, they assimilate the 5 textures of food. So this 5 and 5 put together, it forms the Antardashara. That is the 6th avarana. That's why when they do not function very well, what happens? You'll have gastric problem. Yes. Vayutattva. Acidity. So when these vayus do not function very well, it causes that problem. Okay? That is the Anahata Chakram. One way of mapping that is the 6th avaranam, Anahata Chakram, Hreem, Kleem, Blame. Okay? It refers principally to the digestive function or the assimilative function in the human body. Okay? And this once again, I'd urge that you guys refer to the Mahayaga Kramam for this particular, that is the 9th one in the Mahayaga Kramam. I'm not looking at you guys, I'm looking at here because I see a lot of audience here today. Okay? Sorry about it. But this is what it is. Then after that, Shita, next is the Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi, Shitoshna Sukha Dukhecha Sattva Tamo Gunaha Vashinyadi Shaktayashtau. That means, what is that? Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Icha, Sattva, Rajas, Tama. Okay? There are 5 experiences. Shitaha, cold. Ushna, hot. Sukha, happiness. Dukha. Dukha is sadness. What is Sukha and Dukha? They both end with Ka. What is Ka? Nothing. The deep space is called Kam. That's why Brahma, Kam Brahmane Namaha. He is the Lord of the Vyomam. And what is Vyomam? Shunyam. It is nothing. With that nothing, your mind adds a pleasant disposition, it becomes Sukham. When you add unpleasant disposition, it becomes Dukham. But ultimately, it is nothing but Kam. That realization is what is going to lead you to the 8th avaranam. Otherwise, you have to Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, you are just akkane gottu tirugutu untaru annamata. Okay? Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Icha. Okay? Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Icha, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. All 3 gunas. And then these 4 experiences and the mind, not the mind, and the wishful thinking, the thought. Mind is in the 8th hour. That's why, from mind, the thought percolates downwards. That's why when the Upasaka reaches the 8th avaranam, there is a kind of a semi-permeable membrane. What it does, if you are still bound by thoughts, he says, hey, go down. Go down. Clear your backlog and then come back. If you are beyond thought, if you are in control of the thought, Then from there, the semi-permeable membrane gets you upstairs. That's why this is called, this is where Guru is supposed to be sitting there along with Varahi. They hold the key, whether you have to go up or go down. Okay? That is Yashavanhigala Sarva. Okay. Charaka, Udgaraka, that is the Saptama Avaranam, that is the Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi refers to Vyomam or the Akasha Tattvam, and I explained about Khakaram. Then after that, it comes, we have when you go from here to here, you are supposed to shed a few things which are attached to you. That is Panchatanmatras. And that is what is called Shaptajitanmatraha Panchapushpabana. Shabda Rupa Rasa Gandha. Okay? Shabda Rupa Rasa Gandha. And which is the other one? I'll have to refer here. Yeah, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Okay, Panchatanmatras, and then you have got the Mano Rupe Chuko Danda, Ichudandam, that is going to be your bow. Basically, that is the mind, your mind. Then after that, Raga Pasha, Dvesha, Ankusham. Ragam, Pasha. These are the four. These four you will have to shed. When you shed, you get to the 8th hour. Okay? And these, once again, are mapped to particular parts of your body in the Mahayagakram. As I said, Mahayagakram I will not discuss in detail, as I mentioned initially, because if we go there, we will go well past at least 1 more hour from now. At least. But I don't want to do that. Because one thing is, I am not 100% prepared to do that. Number 2, I'm not sure you are prepared 100% to take that, because it's too much of a coffee shop, right? Because it's too much of in one stretch. So the 8th of the Panchatanmatras, and then Banam, Dhanuhu, Banam, Pasham, Ankusham. This thing, they form the Panchatanmatras, they form the 4 Ayudhams. Then after 4 Ayudhams, you have got Avyakta Mahat, Avyakta Mahat, Ahankara, Kameshwara, Kameshwari, Vajreshwari, Bhagamalnya, Trikona Devata. So when you go there, Avyakta Mahat, Avyaktam, okay, Avyaktam is Kameshwari, okay, then Mahat is Mahavajreshwari, and then Ahankara, Mahabhagamalini. Okay, Mahabhagamalini is the one that, this is basically the garland of yonis. Okay, that's where from there the percolation downward happens. Okay, these 3 will form the 8th avaranam. So Bhavanopanishad, when you look at this one of Mahat, Avyaktam, that is something that is that is there but is not manifested. Avyaktam. From that Avyaktam you get a Mahat. Okay, so that is Vyaktam, but that basically the Icha. It is going to, then after that it is Bhagamalini, that is Kameshwari, Mahabhagamani, it will just happen. So Mahakameshwari, Mahavajreshwari, Mahabhagamani. There are two ways of mapping that: Mahakameshwari, Mahavajreshwari, Mahabhagamani, or Mahakameshwari, Mahavajreshwari, Mahabhagamani. Some people would like to map it to the back of the head. Some people will map it to the front of the head. Some people say this gets you the faster results. Some people say this gets you faster results. I don't know. Try and tell me. Okay, we'll compare notes. Okay, then after that, Nirupadhika Samvideva Kameshwara. So in the center, there's Kameshwara, Nirupadhika. That means this guy is now, he has shed the upadhis. He has shed the upadhis, and that Shiva Tattvam that is sitting at the center of this one is the Kameshwara, Nirupadhika Kameshwara. And Nirupada Kameshwara, Tadananda Purna, Swatmaiva Paradevata Lalita. So basically there's a penultimate stage where Shiva and Shakti are just about to become one. That's why that, what do you call, quasi-dualistic nature is the Guru Tattva, is also described as Guru Tattvam. That's the reason Guru Mandalam is sitting there. Sveta Padam, Aruna Padam, right? What is that? Telupu erupu anchapadamu siri siri muva, aa chaitanyame naku ayya siri siri muva, siri vidyala siri nive siri siri muva, hari bhavaku bhamakade siri siri muva, anchapadamulerupu telupu siri siri muva, aa chaitanyame naku ayya siri siri muva. Just above the Atma Chakra. Okay? Yeah. So there, Kameshwaraha, that is the 27th statement. Sadananda Purnasvatmaiva Paradevata Lalita. 28th statement. Lauhityametasya Sarvasya Vimarsyaha. Prakasha Vimarsya. Lauhityasya, that is red color, is the Vimarsya Shakti. Then after that, Anena Chittatvena cha Siddhihi. Bhavanaya Kriya Upacharaha. So there, your, what do you call, your sankalpam, the way you think and the way you act, that is the upachara. Okay, that is your puja. That's your puja. Upacharaha. Aham tvam asti nasti kartavyam akattavyam upasitavyamitti adi vikalpanamatmani vilapanam homaha. See, this is what it is when you perform the homam. When you get there, actually, when you have surrendered, you have offered your own ego, that the lack of oneness, lack of the thought of oneness, you have offered that out. What has remained? Nothing. So that is the time you are going to get into a kind of a quasi state. You'll be, honestly, you'll be confused. Because to be or not to be, to do or not to do, okay? What exactly is this? What am I doing? When you get to that state, the experience of that state is the hope. Otherwise, swaha, that fellow put in a bigger thing, I put only a pinch. No. You are just doing all these things. At that, there comes a point where there's nothing else. There's nothing else to offer. Now, at that point, you'll say, what am I doing here? Kartavyam, akattavyam, asti, nasti, asmi, nasmi. I'm there, I'm not there. I'm doing this, I'm not doing this. Do I have to do this? Akattavyam, akattavyam. Do I have to do this? Do I not have to do this? You will get to that point. And that's, in fact, there are some people, they break down at that point. Totally break down. That experience itself is the home, is the home. Not that you have got vibhuti, bhuttu, and then beautiful silk, this one, panchakacham. No, that's all extraneous. That is home. Okay? Then, bhavana vishayanam abheda bhavanam tarpanam. The same thing. Just as you have that jnana gnatrugnaya rupa, this thing, same situation, we have bhavana vishayanam abheda bhavanam. Okay? The thinking about it is there, it is not there. When I am not able to give a more precise explanation for this, bhavana vishayanam abheda bhavanam, that is a tarpanam. Tarpanam means basically, once again, you're just offering this. You're totally just giving it away. Okay? That is tarpanam. Panchadasha tithi rupena kalasya parinamavalokanam. So basically, you at that time, you will see this. This is where I said, tithi nityas, when we do the Sri Chakra puja, we will take their permission to enter the yoni called Sri Yantram. Okay? But here in Mahayagakramam, we will think of those tithis as the transient states around you along the window of time. Because there is nothing else there, you are not there, it is there. From Prathama to Vidya, Tadya, Vidya, okay, they are all going and just coming back and going and coming back. There is avalokam. At that point, you just contemplate on that. Okay? Then when you do that, evam muhurtatradayam muhurtadvadayam muhurtamatram va bhavanaparo jivan mukto bhavati. So all the muhurtam, I mean, this one sentence, I'll have to beg your pardon. I myself have not understood completely. I'll have to find out what exactly it is supposed to convey. Okay, but all I could see from various explanations is, it means all that three muhurtams, you will have to, you should stay there like that. That if you do that, you are a Jivan Mukta. In fact, Ayya says, when you get into that one particular experience, you should try to stay in that this one for 2 muhurtams at a stretch. It is hard to stay there for a moment. 1 muhurtam is 24 minutes. What is that? 2.5 hours, I believe, right? So 5 hours you have to say, come on. Okay. Before that itself, I'll feel thirsty or I'll smell something or somebody else outside. Hey, don't disturb me. I'm trying to be in this. Gone. So when you are able to stay in that state for so many muhurtams, Jivan Mukto Bhavati. That is one explanation, but I am not completely satisfied with that explanation. That statement needs some more exploration and research. I will research it and I'll get back. Okay? And then Kajimati, these are all the general statements. Kajimata matena matenanam Mahadenanantas Chakra Bhavana Pratipadita. This is the statement. Evam Veda Evam Vedasa Atharva Shirshodhite iti Bhavanopanishad. Bhadram Karne Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Paschemakshabhirijatraha Sthirairangai Hitushtuvagum Sastanubhi Yashema Devahitan Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starchyo Arishtanemi Swastino Bruhaspati Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shantiriti. Okay, now we are actually 15 minutes past, but we shall spend another 15 minutes addressing questions about what I covered, but not about what I did not cover. Any questions, please? And what I did not cover, I sincerely, apologetically ask you to post your comments and feedback. I will try to address it as fast and as best as possible during the next few days. So, any questions at this point? Face to face or online? Yes, sir. Yes, Bhavanopanishad is like Shiva Manasa Puja. Agreed.
Kriyatmaka thing of Bhavonopanishad is Mahayaga Kramam.
Pardon?
The Kriya part of that is Mahayaga Kramam.
Speak loud so that they will be able to listen.
The Kriya portion of Manasa Puja is a Mahayaga Kramam.
Mahayaga Kram, yes.
And all Bhavanopanishad talks about is whatever it compares the whole Brahmandam and it places whole Brahmandam within
and without, yeah. Within and without to 2 to 3 things. One is it relates this to the body itself, and it relates that to the Sri Chakram as well.
So that means the body itself is Sri Chakram.
Yes,
and the Sri
Navachakra Rupam Sri Chakram, yeah.
Whole universe.
Yes.
So that's the whole.
That's it.
Common understanding
That's it.
about it.
Yeah. Okay. That is Bhavanopanishad. That is Mahayaga Kram. Okay.
So the Mahayaga Kramam is like doing outside, not Antaryagam, it's Bahiryagam?
Mahayaga Kram is hybrid of Antaryagam as well as Bahiryagam. Okay, because you are mapping the external to the internal to the further internal, and the whole thing to the Sri Chakram, and then say towards the end is I am there, I am that. Kartavya, you are going to shed all those things and come to a state of stillness where nothing else exists. That is where you are, that's the entire direction of the puja. That's the culmination of the puja. Yeah, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha, yes. So everything is just, you go this way, you get there, you go that way, you get there. Pardon? Politics is something where the politician understands, the person doesn't understand. Philosophy is something both won't understand. We have to, but we are not there yet. We have to. Yes. The question here is, why don't we chant Bhavanopanishad at any context in our temple puja from time to time? Yeah. We can do that. When it is available. It is available. We have not done that. That's all. We can start doing it. We can start doing it. Yes. Yes. Bhavanopanishad is an Upanishad, is a mantra in itself. It's a mantra in itself, but the mantra contains a set of statements. Each statement will become a mantra again, one on its own capacity. Yes. Chanting itself is a sadhana. That's why they say for every pada, there is artha. There is every artha, there is pada. When there is a pada and pada that can harmoniously unite, thus forms a padartha. Okay? Now, what is pada? Is essentially vibration which is a function of time and space. Okay? And artha is the pith or the essence which has no time, no space. When this pada and artha, when they join, the physical manifestation padartha happens. Okay, now what we have done, we have pressed the toothpaste tube and the toothpaste has come out. Now we have to put the toothpaste back into the tube, and that is our sadhana. From padartha, you have to go back to pada and merge into artha. Now the problem here is, see, for one particular pada, there can be several arthas. So for each artham, for the same padam, there can be a different padartham. Yeah, exactly. There are different manifestations. That's the reason you have got 1,000 names, probably 10,000 names. Okay, 64 tantras. Okay, so many Vedas, Upavedas, Vedangas. So why did all such a variegated explanation come up? Because each padam can have several arthams. Interpretations, not just interpretation, experiences, realization. Each padam can give a different. That's why I always quote this, the German Swami. You must have heard, I've spoken about this German Swami. This guy, his name is, what is that? Peter Gayorga. He is based out of Sri Lanka. Yes, he escapes German prosecution and just goes all over. He gets imprisoned at one place, goes to Tibet and all that, gets scared, comes back, and finally settles in Sri Lanka. And when he in Sri Lanka, he was really searching for answers to his questions. He's not able to get any satisfactory answers in the book library. In the library, he'll be searching for some books. Then from the back, an old man comes and taps on him and says, Madaya, unnak enna venumo adu pustakada irukradilla nee summa iru. This is the exact words he said, nee summa iru. When he said nee summa iru, that becomes a mantra for him. It becomes the initiation for him. So much so, he goes into silence. Finally, he compiles a treatise, Summa Irikka Suttiram. And that old man who taps on him, he is none other than Shivayoga Swami. So the padam has a different artham for him, and the padartham that emanated out of that union is entirely different. You have to come here or you have to take this, otherwise, the people online get bored.
What I view is what I view and certain things will be completely different from what Ayya views or Devi Amma views. Their interpretation, their experiences towards any life experience would be completely different. So whatever the text, it comes in different forms to different people. Agreed. And it has different meanings. Agreed. That's all it is.
Yeah. Online viewers, are you able to hear this other mic from the other mic?
Yes, Ayya.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, from people online, any questions?
Yes, we do have a couple of questions. Kevin Ayya,
Please.
Can you go ahead and ask the question?
Please.
Namaskaram, I was just curious, in the Lalitopakyana lecture, you also mentioned the state.
Can you please identify who you are, Ayya?
Yes, this is Kevin, Ayya.
Hi, yeah. Yes,
Namaskar.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to talk about I think, Sarvo Vinirmukta as that state where you're beyond the sensory experiences and you're trying to extend that through your sadhana. And I just wanted to hear you talk a little bit more about the necessity of being with the sound as opposed to trying to memorize the paditi and, academically dissect all of the words when it's most important to just be one with the sound.
See, that the problem is when we initially start off, okay, we will start off with a composite or a composition of sounds. The composition of sounds, if it doesn't make a whole lot of either mental sense or a physical sense, because some people like to hum on that, sing on that, or just try to listen to that melody of it, or enjoy the meaning of it, or enjoy the joke behind it. But without any of this, if you want to keep chanting something, you can either get bored or you can get distracted. So that is one of the reasons they say, okay, try to get to understand something, if not everything about it, and then keep chanting it. You will be able to ruminate over that with much better concentration. Beyond that, say that, okay, let me go back one step. A realization of an aspect happens at least in two phases, according to me. One is called the phase of conception. Okay, you conceive, you will get an idea. Okay, so once again, quote and unquote, you will get an idea. For you to get an idea, you should be able to either fall in line with the rhythm of that congregation of sounds, or you will be able to fall in line with the sense of that congregation of sounds. Okay, say for example, Rudram, I don't know the meaning, but I like the rhythm of it. Shancha me, mayascha me, priyancha me, nukamascha me, kamascha me, somanasascha me, bhadrancha me, shreyascha me, vasyascha me, yashascha me, bhagascha me. I like the rhythm. I'll fall in line with it. If somebody who knows the meaning, he will focus on the meaning as these sounds keep happening. Now, at one point, what happens is you will start losing that sense of rhythm or the sense of logic behind it. The moment you say meaning, you will look for the logic. If I go, give me this, give me that, that's what it is, the chanchame mayashchame saying, right? So you will lose that logic. Once the logic component and your physical enjoyment component falls apart, then what happens is you will slowly move from shabdam, which is sound, shabdam to nadam, nadam to varnam, varnam to anubhavam, varnam to drishyam, drishyam to anubhavam, anubhavam to ekatvam, paratatvam. So this transcendence from shabdam to ekatvam, through these many steps, shabdam to nadam. So you have got just a physical sound from that nadam, that sound where you are already transcended beyond meaning. From nadam to varnam. So in nadam, you still are listening. Varnam, you are beginning to see. From varnam to drishyam, drishyam, you are only seeing. So that means your auditory components have already gone. Everything is gone. Only you are seeing. So from there, from drishyam to you are going to, what is that? Paratatvam, the bliss. So when you are going there, these components help you to some extent until you get there. Once you get there, these things will fall apart on its own. That's why one of the maverick analogies I'll give is mantropasana, or the mantra initiation, is like a cookie cutter with a rocket engine. Okay? When your guru put your mantra, impregnates his mantra shakti into you, that cookie cutter comes and sits on your chaitanyam. So Moola Chaitanyam is captured by the cookie cutter, and the rest of the dough is hanging outside. And now the rocket engine starts. It's going at a rapid pace. As it is going, the dough outside of the cookie cutter, it will wither away, it will tear away or break away, or you may have to break it yourself. It depends on what kind of dough you are made of. So when these things fall apart, the Moola Chaitanyam that resides in the cookie cutter, it just transcends to the ultimate destination. That's the reason I said that transcending to the ultimate destination is about focusing on the sound, focusing on that nadam, focusing on that varnam, focusing on the drishyam, while the rest of the dough falling apart is what happens when you are going that way. That is, the rest of the dough is basically what kind of attachment you have through the meaning, through your enjoyment, through your physical senses, upadhis. So all these things will fall. When all these things will fall apart, then sarvopadhi vinirmukta, sadashiva pativrata. When all these upadhis go away, the Moola Chaitanyam will just go and join the state of Tattvamasi. I am you.
That was amazing, Aya. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Aya.
Next
Sadhana. Japam. Kaya vangmana karyamuttamam pujanam japa chintanam kramat. Kaya, vak, manah, karyam. The deed of the body, kaya. Deed of the mouth, vak. Deed of the mind, mana. Okay. Out of these, which is the most, ultimate? Pujanam, karyam by the body. Japa, karyam by the mouth. Chintanam, kramat, in that order. Ramana Giti. Kaya vangmana, karyamuttamam, pujanam japa, chintanam kramat. Okay.
Expose yourself to chanting meditation.
Amma. Each time I go there, the screen is vacant here. Make sure you are not supposed to let it fall.
So the more we get into meditation, chanting, all those things finally lead to visualization.
Yeah, finally lead to
realization.
Yes.
Once you realize, then you forget all those things and you will go there.
You
will
just
reach,
you are there.
Get there.
You are there.
Yeah.
That's why Chivaraku Gnananetramu Vichikonaga Tilisikontina Ke Mitiliyadansu. And if you have heard of this.
The chanting is the primary one to start with.
Yes.
And finally, anybody, X, Y, Z, will move in that direction.
Yes.
Because you start thinking, okay, these are all the things you realize. One point you think, okay, these rituals, whatever you do, that is all nothing. Whatever you think in your mind, then you...
Not what you think, what you realize inside. What you realize inside. Once you say think, you are still there.
There, yeah. Once you realize...
It is going down.
Going down. Once we realize, then there is a path to go into the different level. Yeah. Thank you.
Throw it from downstairs, otherwise. Thank you. Yes.
Is there any particular reason, Naya, you correlated with Mahaya Kramam, or you just is there any similar? I mean, I know there were similarities, but is there any particular reason you selected Mahaya Kramam to?
No, I did not select. When I was researching online, there was this one on website, that is Bhaskara Ashram website, where this Mahayaga Kramam is actually not compiled, I don't know whether you can call it compilation or whatever, by Bhaskara Raya, the one who has written the commentary on Lalita Sahasranama. So it is very apt to relate to this our class and then take it from there.
Okay. But there could be similarities to Rudram also,
Pardon? Yeah, there are so many. That's why, as I said, Padam and Artham. It's a one-to-many relationship. Each person can realize the Artham in a different way, depending on his consciousness. Yeah. But what is the best? Well, Yajyadacharit Shreshtaha Tattadeveta Rojanaha. When the Shreshtas, the Rishis, when they establish a path, the rest of it will follow that path because it's already identified for you, you follow that path.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Any more questions from online viewers?
There is one more question, Aya.
Please.
Sesiji, can you please ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. In the 15th statement, you were explaining, in that, is the 8th one is Tyagam?
Abnegation, Upeksha.
Yeah. 5 karmendriyas plus 3 more should come, Maya.
When you said 15, Vak Pani Pada Payupasthani Mano Vikaraha, is it the one?
No, yeah. Buddha Ananga Kusumadhyashtau.
Ananga Kusumadhyashtau, Vak Pani Payupasthani Mano Vikaraha, Kamadhyashtau, sorry. Vachana Danagamana Visargananda Hano Padano Peksha. Upechakya Buddhaya. Okay. What about that?
Yeah, that whatever that 5 karmendriyas plus 3 more should. What are those
No,
three?
no. That I think you're referring to something else. This one is basically Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upasthani. Yeah. Okay. These are the what is that? Karmendriyas. Pani,
Yeah.
Payu, Upasthani, Manovikaraha. There is 7 of them plus this thing. Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha.
I'm asking the next line, Ayya. Next line. 15th.
Sorry, no, next, sorry. So, Vachanadana Gamana, Visargananda, Hanopadana, Upechya Buddhaya. Okay.
So, what are this one, 5 Karmendriya? What is speaking?
No, they are not Karmendriya. They are not Karmendriya. Vachana, speaking.
Vachana.
Speech.
Okay.
Adana, taking. Gamana, walking. That's basically movement. That is displacement.
Okay.
They are not Indriyas.
Okay, yeah. Then what are the other, the 3 more should come, no, yeah?
Yeah, Vachana, Adana, Gamana, Visarga, Ananda, Hana, Apadana, Upeksha.
Okay. I was thinking Tyagam.
No. The thing is, there what happens is Visarga, the Visarga is basically break away from things.
Okay,
And then Upeksha is a total dispassionate detachment.
Okay, Ayya. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Ayya. And one more question, Ayya. This Kurukula Devi, we are comparing as mother, no, Ayya?
Yes.
So why Bali Devata also, Ayya?
Kurukula Bali Devata Mata. Because basically, at the mother's feet, you surrender your ego. What exactly is the Bali that you are giving? The Bali is, I am not that. That feeling is what you are giving. That your ahankaram is what you are giving away as Bali.
Okay, Ayya. Beautiful. Understood. Thank you, Ayya.
So when you go to your mom, she say, "Hey, go there." No, mama, you just go catch hold of her feet. A toddler. That's what a toddler does. Adult will not do. Oh, okay. He'll just put a crooked face and walk away because the ahankaram is so strong. When it comes to a baby, we are all babies in front of her. Whatever you may do, you are only one. You are the only one for me, nobody else. You just clutch to her feet. When you do that, you are giving away your this thing, and that is the Bali you are.
Yeah.
Samarpana.
Yeah. Beautiful meaning, Ayya.
Pardon? See, that the problem is here you are now getting stuck in logic. Okay? Kurukula, as I said, Kurukula is a pada and artham put together. Keep chanting it. She will do it the way she knows how to do. Not the way you want to her to do. She will do it. Probably when you keep doing it, somebody will come, something else will come and hit you somewhere else so that you shut the thing. And it is all her making. She will do it. You surrender, but that's why I always say when you go to mother, I say tell her to take care of you, but do not tell her how to take care of you. She knows that better. And do not even expect how she is going to take care of you. That means the moment you expect, that's why quite a lot of these sakshatkarams happen at the most unexpected moment, because at that unexpected moment, your ego has totally disappeared for that fraction of a second. కోరికే కాదు, ఏ విధమైన అహంకారం లేదన్నమాట, ఏ విధమైన సో ఓన్లీ దెన్ దట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. ఓకే, ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్?
I think that's it, Ayya. There are like a couple more requests for the song that you sang, so please do post it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is nothing else, I will call it a day. Thank you very much. Very, very, very humble pranams for all of you to have participated in this Gnana Yagnam, okay, for giving me the opportunity to share whatever little Mother has bestowed upon me. Thank you very much. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Prajnanam Brahmayamatma Brahma. Hamsa Shivasoham Hamsa Asaka Fremata Chamalavari Yumasom Chamalavari Imsaho Swarupani Rupana Hetave Swagurave Srimadnyanam Vikasameda Sri Chaitanyanandanadha Sri Guru Sri Padukam Pujaya Mitarpaya Minamaha. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.
చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి.
Thank you. So if you have any comments, questions, feedback, kindly do not hesitate to post on our classroom this one, and I'll try to address it in the best possible way and as fast as possible. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ayya.
Thank you, Ma.
Apologies for asking all quick questions.